Sometimes there's situations where women are taking birth control and the birth control just didn't work, or they may have missed birth control for whatever reason, and
Sounds
you didn't know.
You irresponsibility.
It was irresponsible, but irresponsible on her part.
But it's not. But you can't.
And you
say
get to
that
follow
was
up with
my
her
choice,
too.
though. It wasn't. It wasn't a choice. I didn't make the choice to say, "Hey, I
we
want
made
to
the
have
choice
this
to
kid,
not ask her if
right?
she took her birth control, and if
so
she
I
missed
should
any
ask
days.
her every time we have sex. Hey, did you?
Well,
take
you
your
should.
birth
If you
control?
don't, if that's not an outcome you want.
Be responsible.
But that's still an accident, so it's still not me making a choice to have a child.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Shake it.
He's very triggered.
I didn't. Oh, no, I'm not triggered. I'm just saying. You saying that it's a choice and it's not an accident. And there's I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like 80% of the children out there in the world are accidents. They're not planned. I think the only children.
That's a shake fact.
That's a shake fact. But I like
That's a shake fact. That is.
I like that fact though. I like that.
Ding that, man.
And notice I did say accident, not mistake. There's a difference,
Right,
okay?
you said it.
Right.
Right.
So 80% of the kids out there in the world. Matter of fact, most of y'all are accidents, okay? All right. So
He talking facts.
I might have been.
I like it.
parents are out
I'ma
here
find out. I'ma
raw dog in there, thinking they pull out game is strong, and it ain't.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Mash, aka the Spew God Drip Drip. Please hit the drip drip. I need you to stop what you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing and hit the subscribe button. Don't worry, I'll wait. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Now let's get ratchet the sophisticated way. What's good, everybody?
What's going on?
Hey guys.
What's good, y'all?
Welcome back to another episode of Sophisticatedly Ratchet Tribe. This is the time, okay? Hit that follow button right now. Hit the like button right now. Hit the subscribe button right now. And then hit the pause button and go tell a friend right now. Okay? And then come back and then hit the play button so you can catch this episode. Because it's time to get ratchet the sophisticated way.
Yay.
Let's talk about it.
Let me introduce my tribe. First, I'm moderating today. I am TJ, the Unicorn Gemini, and I bring duality to the podcast. And I'm accompanied with Flash, the philosopher.
Oh, yeah.
Flash, say what's up to the people. Give us your philosophy today.
What's good, y'all? I'm your resident Big Beard Energy God. My advice for today is don't listen to broken people. I have nothing great. All right, but it's your boy Flash the philosopher. He is in me, this I. All right, gang, what up?
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Today's quite a day. Quite a day.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to bring it on over to your co-host that's in your studio today, which is Shake the Wanderer. He's wandered his way all the way to your house, okay?
Just annoying.
Shake, what's up? Say hi.
What up? It's your boy Shake. You already know Mr. HSD, Mr. RFB. Let's go.
All right.
Okay, and then we're going to bring it over to the number 3. Everybody put your X's up. If you're driving, I don't care, put your X up. You already know.
Right, put on a break.
Represent for my girl, Lil Mo. Say
Hey,
hi.
y'all. It's your girl Mo. Hey, I hail from Co-op City, Section 5. Don't ever zone my shit. I represent everything Bronx. Okay? You heard?
And last but not least, we're going to bring it over to the Spew God, Drip Drip. Say what's up, Mash.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Mash, aka Spew God Drip Drip. Please say the drip drip. For those who know, represent South Jamaica Queens, gang. Appreciate you. Only Queens make kings. Let's do it.
Thanks.
All right, tribe. We are going to get into today's episode. We're going to be talking about having kids or not, or the decision to not have kids, and how you feel about that. But before we get to that, we're going to get to the word of the week with Shake the Wanderer.
Okay. Hey, word of the week.
Word of the week.
Give me a word
I'm gonna teach
that I'm never going to use again.
I'm gonna
never
teach
use
ya.
again.
Okay, so this week's word of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is encumbrance, all right? And the word is a noun, and it's spelled RANCE. Okay, encumbrance. All right, and the word means a burden or impediment that restricts or slows down progress or freedom. In legal terms, a claim, a lien, a liability. Well, we're not going to talk about legal terms, okay? But that's what it means, okay? For as far as how we were using it in this episode.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So wait, hold on.
You got a sentence?
I got one too.
I had the sentence already. God damn it.
Let Mash use his sentence since he's ready. Go ahead, Mash. Let's hear it.
So my sentence is, so it was getting hot and heavy with the young lady, and I was about to climax, but I had to think of baseball to encumbrance my load.
Yeah. Coming in hot.
To encumbrance my load. Okay.
Slows down progress.
So real quick, I gotta do one sentence, right? Because I'm word we got. Okay. All right. The encumbrance of having children can definitely slow down your career process.
Nah, he's speaking fast.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah. Okay. Let the tribe know how they play the game with us.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, speaking of, all right, yeah. So this is a game, ladies and gentlemen, that we play during every episode. All right. If you're new to this, I'm gonna let you know what the rules are. Every time someone says the word, you're gonna hear a
nigga. Why are you trying to hit me? your hand hurt, nigga. The fuck? But you see, all right.
And then when you hear the ding, make sure you take a sip.
Take a sip.
And you don't necessarily have to take a sip of anything alcoholic, all right? But if you do want to drink some alcohol, drink alcohol, or you can smoke, or whatever your vice is, all right? All right, continue.
Yeah, we're not peer pressuring you, tribe. You can be ratchet, but you could also be sophisticated, okay?
That's
whatever that means to you.
Exactly.
Drink some tea.
All right, we're gonna move it on over. So yeah, we talked about what the episode's going to be about, the decision to have or not have kids. And the inspiration for this episode came from 2 video clips that I want you guys to take a look at and give me your feedback on. And the first one is of JD Vance.
The center of a political firestorm over these resurfaced comments made in 2021.
Is that we're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies.
Vance seemed to imply that people without children shouldn't be in government.
You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children.
Those claims sparking fierce backlash. Democrats opening up a new attack line on the GOP ticket, branding the newly minted pairing weird.
Okay, so that's one. And I'll take your feedback on that now. And then we'll go to the next clip. What do you guys think about this clip? What do you guys think about what he said?
Go ahead, Mom.
I think,
are we
first
offended?
of all, I think
how are we feeling for the people that have kids, don't have kids?
Right. So I'll speak. I don't have any children, but I think it's very inappropriate for him to say, because whether you have a child or not doesn't mean you can't run for being any kind of government process. Right. Any government position, that whether you have a child or not, that has nothing to do with the education and what you can provide by being in the government. So for me, that comment was just lackluster and inappropriate, and to me, it didn't make sense. What does you having children have to do with how you perform in government? In my opinion, that's my
in your job. Yeah, that's the
exactly.
For me, I think it's a reach. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a desperate reach to try to get the people who have families. And to be honest with you, I think the way they ended it to say, "Hey, it's weird." I think it's kind of dumb, right? So if I was in the Republican Party and I'm reaching, all right, I'm gonna say, because they don't have kids, they don't care about your future. They don't care about your kids' future, all right? They don't care about themselves. They care about the now. We care about what's gonna happen in 30 years from now, right? So I feel like instead of saying it's weird, but I mean, like, who the fuck wrote that shit for them? Like, come on, bro. Like, be a little bit more creative with it.
Chat GPT the bitch. Like, put some effort into it.
Exactly.
I gotta say, I must agree with Shake. I think if they went with that perspective, exactly what you said, Shake, by going to the future of your children's future, then I could see how that would tie in. But just saying that had no reference or relevance. It made no sense.
Well, that's what the Democrats are saying. The Democrats are saying that it's weird. That's not from the Republican side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is weird.
They're weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, we're saying that what they're saying is weird. Well, sorry. Yes, the Democrats. I don't want to say we. The Democrats are pretty much saying what the Republicans are reaching. Like that reach is a weird reach.
I didn't hear that, but okay. All right.
Yes,
Cool.
Pete Buttigieg definitely says that.
That is weird. Okay.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And so yeah, for me, I will just say that what comes up for me immediately is, the single woman that has 10 cats in her house, infestation of cats in her house, and don't have any kids, and she should not be leading the country because she don't even have no kids. You know what I'm saying? Like her kids are not going to be, her generations are not going to exist. Okay, so why are we leaving it in the hands of someone that is not even contributing? And I'm like, this is absolutely absurd. The way of thinking is absurd.
Yeah, they're trying to unconsciously portray her as the crazy cat lady. Like they want you to think of the Simpsons,
but not just her.
Those the cats.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it just related to females either because Pete Buttigieg, right? So it's both masculine and feminine, right?
Now, hold on, wait, let me ask y'all a question though. Have y'all ever been in a cat lady house? Like, and I'm speaking from experience.
I know you have. Tell you.
And for anybody that don't know, Flash did cable for well over 10 years, and I've been in more people's houses than anybody can ever want to ever be in. And I've been in a house with this woman had to have at least 20 cats, and it was poop everywhere. And there was a room that I had to go in where the problem was. And when I went into the room, it was cat shit. I think I had to fix like a phone jack, and it was cat shit all over the phone jack and shit. And this was an old lady. She had to be like 80 something. And I'm looking at all the cat shit on the jack. And I'm like, damn, she need phone service. But then at the same time, I was like, I'm not this type of nigga to remove cat shit to go and fix this. And I went to the lady and I had to tell her, like, ma'am, I said, I can't do it. Like, I had to tell her this. And unfortunately, we have a thing sometimes where it's like, don't leave anybody without service. But I had to let her know, like, you need to call somebody to remove what I just saw before we get to the problem. There's a restriction. Okay. And if I had to be honest, TJ, no, I don't think that woman should be running the country. And I'm not judging people to say like you can't have experiences out of being a certain type of person, that third. But nah, there's certain things that I'm like, wow, have you seen this though? But I don't agree with him necessarily either. I don't think people that have cats are wild, but there's certain things that make you say hi.
I also don't agree with Mr. Vance, but I do think cat ladies are creepy. In that instance, when I think about people who got 20 some odd cats, I know there's at least 6 dead cats somewhere in that house that she ain't found yet. Because I watch Hoarders and I see
and you can see the skeletons, right?
It'd be crazy in there.
All types of shit on Hoarders. But for him to make that statement is not. It's not accurate. You can be a contributor to society and not have children. I think that's a reach. Yes. I think that across the board, that's just another way for them to divide us, or another way for us to put one person against another just because there's some type of difference. And I think it's bizarre as hell. I don't know. I don't understand why political figures make those type of comments in general. Like, who does that help? Like, for the women who don't have children, you're shaming them. For the people who do have children, are you bigging them up by making them feel better than the people who don't have kids? Like, how does that even work?
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Like the people who don't have kids don't have a vote. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like that.
You're voting yourself still.
Or you shouldn't be in the profession of politics if you don't have children. What? That makes sense.
And as a voter, you lost my vote just based off of that comment alone. So I'm just saying, based off of that one comment alone, you lost me right there.
They never had my vote.
And you never had it to begin with. I'm just saying.
You made a very good point, Mash, and I want to take us to our second clip because Tracee Ellis Ross was very eloquent when she kind of spoke about not having to have kids to contribute to society and humanity. So go ahead, Mash, and play that clip for the tribe.
The 52-year-old childless woman. I want to say to the people who think that a woman's worth is measured in her baby count. I mean, shout out to all the amazing mothers, but the childless women have been mothering the world and elevating culture as aunties, godmothers teachers, mentors, sisters, and friends, and the list goes on. And you do not need to push out a baby to help push humanity forward.
Hit the applause button. Drop the bomb right there. Well said, eloquently. Hello. Tribe members out there listening or watching us, if you have children, put that in the comment right now. Let us know if you have kids, and if you don't, drop that too. Let us know your thoughts on what you just saw as well. So how do we feel about what Tracee Ellis Ross said? I thought that was like very eloquently said. We've been people that don't have children, like myself, have already been contributing to society in so many different aspects of life. So you don't have to have children to be a contributor. So what are your thoughts?
So, like, I got just one thing. I ain't even gonna hold you. Now, I love Tracee Ellis Ross, and I do think it was eloquent. I do think it was eloquent. But when she said, you don't have to have kids to push humanity forward, in my mind I was like, all right, what if every woman thought like this? Like we would all die. Okay,
the statement itself is not right? Because you do need to have children to have the society move forward. I didn't want to go there, but since you went there,
that's my toxic masculinity side, though. That's my toxic masculinity side, saying I love and appreciate women, but and I think everybody should have free range choices as saying like whether I will or won't. I'm a person who doesn't have kids, and I'm at a space where it's like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just me personally. However, but it is a goal of mine to still understand that, it does push what we call culture and future and whatever we need to create for how the world is supposed to be shaped. Like, women lead that. And as far as having the power and the choice to lead that. So, and I'm not taking away no power from the women. I'm just saying, like, women can definitely say, we'll stop humanity. And we can't do nothing about that. Real shit, that's a lot of power. So,
All right, Shake, what did you have to say about the clip?
Yo, let me tell you something, man. So, I agree with Flash. I think that the statement is eloquent. However, she's comparing being a godmother to a mother, and it's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
That's not what she's saying.
It felt like that because she was like, "Oh, we're still mothering the world as the godmothers, the teachers," and I'm like, it's not really the same. You know what I'm saying?
Because the same. Some kids that get parenting.
Let me
finish my comment. All right. First off, okay, like I said, it's not the same because it's easy for me to walk away from being a godmother or godfather and shit. Like, so you can't walk away from parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a lot more responsibility on you when you're a parent, and I'm not saying that's gonna make you a better candidate for any office. However, like I said, it's not the same, and for her to compare that, it's just I think it don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, at the end of the day, I could just go and if I'm a godfather or godmother or whatever, right, I could just leave and go to brunch and drink mimosas and shit. And I don't got to worry about the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a parent's job.
I don't think she was
comparing
the two. She wasn't comparing the two. She was just saying, I'm not a mother, but I am a form of a mother. Like, by being a godmother, I'm still contributing something to that child, although I did not birth that child, right? So she's not comparing herself to being a mother. She's not a mother. She made that clear. I'm a 52-year-old person who's childless. I don't have a child, right? So in my opinion, she was not comparing herself or comparing a godmother to being a mother. That's just my interpretation.
And I just wanted to add to that, Mo. Yeah, she does say that, but she also says, I want... Not even what she says. I want you to think about the child that doesn't have the strongest foundation at home and they get everything from school. And they rely on that teacher that it gives them that father figure. You know what I'm saying? I've heard a lot of men say, I learned how to be a man in college by Professor XYZ. I've heard some children say, this teacher gave me very, like motherly love when I was in middle school or whatever. So that's what she's referencing or referring to when she makes that comment. She's not comparing it in the sense that you are going with it, in my opinion, Shake. I think you're kind of reaching in my opinion. But Tribe, we want to know how you feel about it. But anyway,
So
do you guys feel... Oh, go ahead, Mash. What do you got to say?
I think that I think that she wasn't making a comparison. I think that she was just saying that women can be motherly and not be mothers, right? So you have like nurturing aspects of women, and they can contribute to society in that kind of way. But I think that's what she was going with that statement. So instead of like comparing the two, it's just saying that we can be motherly in different type of ways without being a mother. That's what I got.
Correct. Thank you for that, Mash. I appreciate one of the masculines get it, but I
agree.
Thank you.
Do
you guys feel like people without children get judged often? Because I mean, I don't have a child. I feel like I get judged by society. Because we're millennials. You know, if you know what the millennials are, that means, you know, you're up in age, and if you don't have a child by now, you know, people are asking you, like, you know, do you still have eggs? Like, are you able to still carry? You know, there's the societal pressure, but then even as a woman, as you get older, your egg supply, you know, starts to dwindle, the quality of the eggs, the amount of the eggs. And so that's pressure on you as well. So sometimes I feel judged. What Mash? What were you saying? What's your question?
Well, no, you was already answering the question, but I want to ask you specifically, since you was answering it, when do you feel judged in that instance? Like you said society, but I'm asking you specifically. When has it come up for you when you have felt judged?
When I meet someone randomly, like I'm at work, and they're like, "How many kids do you have? You don't have any kids yet?" Questions like that I get. You know, like, do you have children? Are you married? Do you have children? And I say, no, I don't have any children yet. And they're like, well, how old are you? I'm like, oh, I'm in my 40s. And then they're like, you still want to have kids? You know, like I get those answers. I get the questions like, you don't want to have a child now? Like, hurry up. I've gotten all of those. So, and
I got questions. They talk about who's drying up. Like, literally said that to me.
So I think
who said that to you, though, Mo?
One of my coworkers. Of course, she retired now, but she was like, "Oh, Mo, what you waiting for your eggs to dry up? Like, what the hell you waiting for?" This is exactly how she's saying it, and it's kind of like,
how did it make you
feel? If it hurts, because especially if you don't know a person's situation, right? So you don't, right? Everybody may not be able to conceive regularly like everybody else, right? Everybody's their own different person. So if you don't know a person's background, people just say shit out their mouth. It's like, okay, so it's definitely a judgment to me when somebody hears your age, and it's like, well, why not? Or this and that, right? And people take different paths. Maybe we did, you know, and I don't want to say the right way, right? But you went to school, you got your education, you did what you were supposed to
travel the world,
right? You lived your life, and now it's like, okay, now I can have kids, but damn, now I'm a little older, but I can be like if I had a kid tomorrow, in my opinion, if I never, which I feel still wouldn't happen, but I'm just saying, if I were to have a child tomorrow and I never traveled again, I wouldn't care because I lived. I've traveled.
Can I ask you some questions? So, since this is such a sensitive topic for the both of you, do you regret the time you spent living your life for you prior to now? Do you
absolutely not?
Nah. So then why do you feel sad when you hear people say things like that to you?
I don't feel sad. I feel judged.
Right.
Why do you feel judged when people say that to you if you don't regret it?
I feel a way because you don't know my personal story. So it's different if you knew my personal story. Then we can have a conversation. But for you to say something without knowing my personal story, that's where I feel judged or whatever.
Okay.
But when I think about it, I don't think I've been able to experience what I have experienced if I had a child earlier, to be transparent and honest.
Okay.
You know, so
I won't 100% say that for me, but a lot of things that you said, Mo, I can agree with. You know, people don't know my story and my fertility journey, right? And I also haven't actively tried to get pregnant. A lot of my friends
I haven't tried
didn't plan their pregnancies. So I'll be honest with you. A lot of them were planned pregnancies. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Shake. I'll let you go. What you had to say, Shake?
What did I say? Well, when I think about people judging people without kids, I feel like people who have kids feel like there's a sense of like selfishness that's in there. Like you are, like Mash just said, you're living your life for you, right? You're not living your life for the kids and whatever. Because some of these people probably had kids like since they were in their 20s, right? They gave up their 20s. They've been dealing with kids. They've been dealing with like all the pressures and issues around kids, and now their kids are grown and they're moving out and shit like that, and you still haven't had kids. It's like you haven't been through that journey, so they feel like you've been just living your life for you this whole time. You know what I'm saying? And like I was saying about the whole godmother thing, right? They look at, oh, you're a godmother, right? Oh, wow, yeah. And they'll look at that like, it's not the same to them. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like people do the judging when they see people that don't have kids. Yeah.
I love that you said people do. Do you? Because you're the only one here with children. So
no, I don't care.
Do you judge people?
I don't care about people who don't have kids. I feel like that's more of a woman thing. I think women judge other women. Guys don't give a fuck. Like I've been like, you don't got kids.
I've been judged by men. I've been judged by men. Personally, I've heard that from men too.
Wait, where's my vibe for that?
Clap him up. As a man, that's a really good point, Shake. I don't judge no woman. I don't judge no woman for not having kids.
Well, they have definitely.
I don't care. This year, that a friend of mine was really candid with me about her pregnancy because she got pregnant in high school. Right? And she was like, your mom, I don't have no fucking kids. Like, don't have no fucking kids.
I know people like that.
She was like, listen. You like living life? She says, I live for somebody else. She says, every day I live for somebody else. She said, I won't be able to live for me until they get out my house. She said, if you want that type of life, then you have a kid. If you don't, then don't have kids. And ever since then, I remembered that. And that stuck with me,
bro.
And that's why I don't have children.
That part, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, yo.
Yet.
When I see people in their 20s that are having kids, especially in their young 20s, I'm like, wow, what did you do? I don't say congratulations. I'm like, oh, poor baby. Like, why would you do that to yourself?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty of that too. I've done that as well.
So the niggas without kids be judging too, and all.
I agree how difficult it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends that are actually jealous of me when I'm going on trips and I'm going here. You have to worry about daycare and who's gonna watch the kid and how much money they have and whether they have to pay for school and all these other responsibilities that I don't have to deal with. So bringing this up to one of my friends, she was like, I'm actually jealous of you. Like I wish I was able to travel the world like you did. You and Mo are always traveling everywhere.
Yep.
You know, I got a master's degree. I'm pretty well on in my career, you know. So she's like, I was actually jealous of you.
And I'm gonna say that too. And I may judge, and I'm being honest, and I think it's the line of work that I do. I may judge, especially in this day and age, the parents who are younger parents, because the mental state of them having a child, and I'm like, they're not ready for it. Y'all ain't ready, B. And this is what you're producing into the world. So when I look at it from that aspect, I'm like, y'all, you ain't ready.
Yeah, this one girl that worked for me, she was 23,
you're not ready,
and she had twins. I felt so bad for her. She has to deal with the encumbrance of having these twins.
Ding that.
Okay, that was good. That was good. All right, I have a ratchet thought for you guys, and I feel like we kind of already answered this, but my ratchet thought is having kids affects your career, it affects your lifestyle, and even your mental health more than people actually admit. So, do you agree or disagree with this thought?
We need.
Okay, so it's Sophisticatedly Ratchet for Mash.
Jesus Christ!
You don't agree? That's okay. No worries. All right, so Flash, you agree with me? Shake just borrow his card.
Wait, you said it affects their health? I mean, not health.
It affects their career, their lifestyle, and sometimes their mental health way more than people admit. Sometimes.
No, I agree with Flash. It's a yes for me too.
Yeah, Shake's back on my side.
What's you, Mo? What you got?
Mo sound like she in the middle. Okay, yes.
I was in the middle. I was gonna put up Sophisticated Ratchet, but I'm like.
Go ahead, tell us why. Since you started talking already, why do you agree?
Because realistically, right, when it's just you or maybe a significant other, you guys can plan together, and it depends on, because if you have a child, let's say you're a single mother and you have 2 children, it's harder for you to really perhaps get what you want to get, or you don't have, because you don't have that added support. Some people are fine too. It depends on where you are financially. You have to think about all of that stuff, and that added pressure can affect your mental health, right? Like if you're, and I'm speaking from a person who sees things like this on a daily, where there's parents who have their children who are living in a shelter because they don't have that support. So you're not really living your life. You're not, you know what I mean? That's just my experience from what I see every day, So when I think about that, I'm like, dang, mentally, they're not okay. They're struggling all across the board. They don't have that family support. So that's why I say yes.
Yeah.
I Mash, yes. Why did you? Okay, go ahead.
No,
shake.
No, I say yes too because I mean, let's be honest, man.
And this is coming from a parent, child.
No. This is terrible. It's like a slow motion train crash. It's just like. It is
having kids is a slow motion train crash.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, this shit is mentally exhausting. Like you never know stress until a kid smears peanut butter on your computer. All right, on some real shit. Like you know what I'm saying? My cousins. My niece's daughter went and drew on the freaking TV and shit. Like, and she this is at my mom's house. My mother went off on her, and she crying and shit. And I know, like, you can't control it. Like, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? So that shit really weighs on your mental health because you go, especially when you're in your 20s. You went from popping bottles and enjoying every weekend to now you have to deal with this kid every single day. Like, your life, you cannot make choices without figuring out what you're gonna do with this child first. Like, and you need to make sure that you are making the right choices because you don't want to fuck your kids up. That's another thing that's going to mess with your mental health because you start leaving too much and you start enjoying your life too much and leaving her with this person, leaving her with that person. You don't know. You could be fucking your kid up for the long term. So all of that weighs on you mentally.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right.
Wow.
I agree with this. I mean, I already, it was my ratchet thought, but career wise, it does affect because it depends on the age, like Mo said, but not only age, I would say it's more emotional intelligence than anything else and maturity. Because I'm not saying that someone I think if I got pregnant in my early 20s, I think I would have been fine too. Would I have been able to study abroad and go to Asia and, all these different countries at the drop of a dime and ball out? Maybe not. But I think I still would be okay. But you are affected by it mentally, for sure, your mental health, because as a woman, period, your body changes too. Some young kids, they snap back right away. And some older people, I have a girlfriend that just had a baby. She's in her late 30s and her body snapped back real fast too. But just the change in the mindset of having to care for somebody else before you do anything for yourself is taxing.
Yeah.
Mash, why'd you say sophisticatedly ratchet?
Sorry for the interruption, tribe, but it's your boy Shake.
Oh yeah, and it's me, your boy Flash the Philosopher from
the Sophisticatedly Ratchet Podcast.
Gang. And guess what? We have an incredible opportunity for you.
Yes, we do. Are you a small business owner? Do you own or run a barbershop, a nail salon, a hair braiding salon, a car detail shop, or even a restaurant?
Nah, maybe you're a lawyer. You might even be a real estate agent, rapper. Either way, you out here with a hustle, right?
Well, we have an exciting opportunity for you. We would like to highlight you in this section of our next week's episode.
Oh yeah, on gang. And guess what? For $75, we can host a 30-second ad for your services. Maybe you want more airtime. Guess what? $150 will get you 60 seconds of ad space. And maybe you're doing something like a discount or offer for your business, your website, or even your social media.
Facts. This is a great opportunity for an entrepreneur to get in front of a growing millennial audience. If you're interested, you should email us at soratchetpodcast@gmail.com.
You already know. Sorry for intruding, but let's get back to the show, y'all. All right.
I said sophisticatedly ratchet because I think it depends on the person's maturity, right? I think it depends on, like you said, I think it depends on their life choices, right? Because I think in this modern day society, you don't find many, but there are people who have the intentions of having children and they want to have children, and that's their goal in life. They want to be a mom. They want to be, a parent, and that's cool for them. So I don't think it affects their career because that's baked into how they see their lives unfolding, right? Because that's what they want for themselves. So when you say career, I think we need to broaden the horizon of what that looks like for you. I could see you being a mother as a career, in my opinion, because that's a lifetime role. I think that that's something that you could pour yourself into if that's something that's for you. And I don't knock those people, you know, so that's why I say sophisticatedly ratchet. It just depends on what the goal is for you as an individual. For you ladies, your goal was education and living your life or doing whatever it is that was important to you at that time. And now that might have changed and you might want to have children now, but that's your decision, right? And anyone gets to make that decision for themselves.
Yeah, actually, I will say, just to correct you, you know, I, as a young person, you know, as a young girl for myself, I was thrown, you know, baby dolls and strollers. And so I wanted to have a baby since I was, I don't know, you know, before I could hold a baby, you know what I'm saying? Like a real actual baby. I wanted to hold it. I wanted to be a mother, right? And I always said that my goal was to have my child in my 20s because I was like, I don't want to be an old mama. I want to know what's going on. I want to, you know, be able to relate to my kids. It just didn't happen for me because I actually didn't actively try to have a child because I didn't feel like I was in a relationship that I wanted to create that foundation for my child. That's actually the main reason why I have it. And
so the only reason you haven't had a child is because you haven't found the right partner?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah,
and I think
that's my truth right now.
Yeah, and I think for me, I was on birth control. You know, you don't realize it, but you trying to, you know, even when I was in a relationship, a long-term relationship, I was just on birth control because I was also getting my master's at the same time, right? But if I wasn't on birth control and it happened, then it happened. But in hindsight, is that who I should have been having a child with? Not necessarily. So I'm just saying, everything happened for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
So that wasn't the goal then. Being a mother wasn't a particular goal for you all.
And I want to be a mother. I just felt like it didn't happen for me when I thought it was going to happen. You know, when I thought it was.
When did you think it was going to happen? I guess is the question. When did you?
I thought when I was, you know, in my long-term relationship at the time, I thought it could have possibly happened then, right? You know, but it didn't, and there's a reason why it didn't.
Yeah, gotcha. So I'm always like understanding that people have kids just based on time and chance and mistakes and slip ups and a lot of other shit. I know for me, I'm probably 80%, you know, pull out game or, you know, just happening to deal with women that either use birth control and shit like that, or even the times where I thought that I was gonna, you know, have a seed or whatnot. It just ended up not happening. And so it's not that I don't think I was meant to be a father or not. I said if I have to and I become one, I will step up to the plate because that's just what I would know how to do. Being somebody who doesn't have kids, does it affect my career and stuff like that? Honestly, I do feel the freedom in how I move to a certain degree, yeah. And I also know the I don't want to say the shackle, but the way how Sheikh describes it, I would say the shackle that I have to put on understanding how that would shape and change my thoughts about career. Can I be sometimes as adventurous with certain type of moves that I want to make for myself? Because every move you make, that child will feel. That is part of your life stream. That's part of like a cycle of the shit that you're doing is going to feed back into the child type of thing. But however, I'm one of these people who also understand that it does take a village in the sense of raising kids. So whether you got the rich auntie, you know, who don't have the kids, or whether you have the you know, the handsome uncle whose pullout game was way too phenomenal where he couldn't have kids or whatnot, it just really depends on, you know, everybody gets to contribute to teaching these kids lessons, helping them grow, this, that, and the third. So,
you know, I contribute to babysitting. Fuck that. Let me tell you something. I need help.
Give me some money. I need fucking help. Contribute financially. Put some money in the birthday card for a nigga. I actually have a question for you, Shay. Oh, go ahead, Mash.
What is it? I was gonna ask Flash a question. Flash, me and you used to talk, and I remember you were saying that you wanted to have a child to motivate you. Do you remember having that conversation?
Yeah. So I think children do give people motivation. It depends on if you look at your children as like a hindrance or a blessing, honestly, though, too. Because for me, I'm sitting here like, all right, we spoke about selfishness. I can no longer be as selfish as I feel, so because I have a extra mouth to feed, and that means I gotta I got to approach life in a different way, because I can't just live in the moment of, well, if I'm bad, I'm bad. No, if I'm bad, we bad. Like it's a different feeling and shit. So yeah, when I think of motivation, I'm thinking of the fact that my game has to improve, because my game no longer just concerns the welfare of myself. So yeah, it would.
So
can I be a fly on the wall? I want to know what year that was. Like, how long ago did you guys have that conversation, Mash and Flash?
About 10 years ago, I'd say.
And so my next follow-up question is, why didn't you have kids within these past 10 years? Like, was there something holding you back from that?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like
I had. What were you waiting on?
Well, I mean, personally, I would have probably had 2 children right now, but it just didn't happen. So that's just my personal story within 10 years of what it was. But yeah, it just didn't happen. Like I said, time and chance, and I didn't. It's not anything that I was ever forcing, but once again, I know if it happens for me, it's just for me to step up to the plate and do what I'm supposed to do.
Facts.
Okay. Absolutely. Mash, what were you going to say, Mash?
No, I was going to add to my pops. That's one of the things that he's big on me having children. I remember a conversation that I was having with him. He was like, you won't understand what life is like until you have a child. And he made a point to say, it's one of the best or one of the most fulfilling things you can do with your life is to have a child, because you're responsible for creating life, right? And creating this life, you have to make sure you make a good person. And if you're successful making a good person, then that's quite an achievement. But I thought to myself the latter, what if you make a bad person?
I was going to say, and that's what's been coming up for me more recently. Like, these kids be whatless, and they become whatless adults, too. You know what I'm saying? So that leads to the next question that I have specifically for you, Shake, because you're the only one with a child. Like, what do you feel is the scariest thing about raising children in today's society?
Okay, like I said, you lose your freedom. Okay, well, for people who don't have kids right now, you do.
But your kids are kind of older now. 13
you talking about
right?
just raising the kids?
Well, in general, like in today's society, period.
Okay, they one of the biggest
freedom
issues,
is one when they're younger.
Freedom is one, and one of the biggest issues that they are what you call an infinite money pit. Okay, you need to keep throwing money at this thing. Okay, like you got. You need to be financially stable to have kids. All right, you gotta keep throwing money at this thing. You got at this person. All right, and you're gonna get
like
back
an encumbrance.
Yeah, and you can't.
Yes, it does.
She's on the board,
and you can't expect to get any type of praise or thanks or none of that shit. Okay, these little motherfuckers don't give a fuck. Okay, this is your job, Dad. This is your job. Okay, not hey, thanks, you're so great, and no, fuck that. So it's a thankless job. So you know what I mean. I think that's one of the biggest things. And also, you don't want to raise a bad person. Like Mash was saying, you want to make sure your kids are good people. And I don't want, because at the end of the day, these are people you are going to have to take care of for the rest of their lives. Okay, and I'm not necessarily eventually I have to take care. These are people you know what I'm saying. You'll have to take care of them well into their adulthood. Right, and if your child gets arrested or goes to jail or something, you still responsible for that person, even though he's like 30 and shit. Like I still be responsible to go see him or go see her in prison if they fucking went to prison or some shit. Like I want to, and that's not to say that they're bad people, because good people go to jail too. You know what I'm saying? But, it's just, like I said, I just want them to be the best version of themselves, and I want to see them grow into good people. But, society is hard, and then also, pollution and shit, like the world coming to an end. Like, I can imagine the apocalypse coming, and I brought these kids into the fucking world, and now everything's fucking falling apart and shit, right? Yeah. So those are some scary things that I think about as a parent.
That makes me look at, like, and this is the other part of judging, right? Because people will judge you, the parent, if you don't raise a decent kid.
Oh
yeah,
what
I'm saying, like every time I see something,
you shouldn't have no more kids because you fucked up already. Like
but this is my problem.
Bad kids out here.
Sometimes you see some of these families from, especially like these little shooter kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they be sitting there like, oh, this kid shot up the school, or this kid just ran, and then you go to the parents' house and you say like, either you're gonna say like, that's the reason why this kid did this, or it's like, it came out of nowhere. But it's rare that it came out of nowhere. Sometimes you just go to the parents' house and you see that there were certain ways that they had about either raising the kid and this, that, and the third, that you can't help but think, did that contribute to some sort of the mental disconnect that happened with this child and how they're living in this life?
That's a fact.
So
you can't, when you see a shooter kid, right, you cannot help but to judge the parents. Like, you can't help it. Like, when they show the parents, I'm like, yeah. They look like they're a rape killer. Like, you can't help but to judge them. You're like, that's a good thing you brought up. Like,
that's 100% valid, because none of it happens in a vacuum, right? All of, like, there are pieces that lead to this puzzle. And once you unpack the pieces, it starts to make more sense. And I think I don't think we do that for a lot of things in life. Like, we always look at the thing and not the things that make the thing. Bro, we look at criminals, but not where they come from or what led them to crime. Shit like that. It's so peculiar how we view things.
Facts.
But how we judge things.
But speaking of, I'm actually watching this thing called Monsters on Netflix on the Menendez brothers, right? Yeah. And they're talking about shit is crazy. So they're talking I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but the father sexually molested them, okay? From 6 years old all the way to adulthood. Like, he was like sexual, and they had the best of lives and shit, but he sexually molested them from 6-year-old until they was in their adulthood. And because it was the 80s and shit, they didn't consider that as something that can make them go crazy. They're like, hey, like, yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like in today's society, we would have looked at it a lot different, because I feel like the parents were the cause of their own demise. Like, the mom sat there, she ignored the fact that he was getting he was molesting the kids, and he's molesting the oldest son, and then when the youngest son gets older, the oldest son is molesting the youngest son, and then he's molesting the youngest son. It's crazy, bro. It was a crazy story, and a lot of this it's shitty parenting. You know what I'm saying? It's fuck shitty parenting. He was a what's the word you called it? Huh? He was a shitty person. He was a shitty person, and he was what do we call Diddy and all these people? They're freaking
pedophile.
Hey, there you go.
Pedophile.
He's a goddamn pedo.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, watching that documentary, most of it anyway, I definitely made me think or look at the Menendez brothers like, damn, son, like, this. Part of me understands, like, the experience that they were given and the results that happened with them even doing the murder. If you're just familiar with the case or whatnot, it's like, if that's really what they were going through, I could only understand what kind of either pain bodies or trauma, these kids are sitting there with. So they're not going to perform at their best in the real world and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I get it.
Wow, that kind of took us a little dark. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Relationships. So a quick question: is it a deal breaker if your partner doesn't want to have a child, or or is it a deal breaker if they want to have kids? Like, do you have that discussion with people that you're dating? How early do you have that discussion? That's a whole bunch of questions, but let's have that discussion.
So I'll say for me, right now, and flashes in the dating world for y'all don't understand where my life is in shambles at sometimes. I asked the question, and I prefer to be with the woman who. How
early do you ask that question?
Within the date.
First date?
No, within the first 5-6 dates. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna ask, are you remotely open to the fact of having kids? And I think it's important for me, because at the same time, I'm not gilded to say like I want to definitely have kids. For me, it's still I'm open to fatherhood. I understand how it would suit me, but at the same time, once again, if it don't happen for me, it don't happen for me. I'm not forcing nothing that ain't in the cards for me. That's just how I'm playing the game. Yo, can I tell y'all something? I saw a video of a termite. I had termites sometime last year. They invaded my house, and I had to go find a way to kill them. And they give you a bunch of shit to put around the crib where it takes out the termites, or it kills the queen, or whatever the fuck's supposed to do. And I saw a video for termite queen the other day. No, somebody opened up the mound, and the nigga opened up the mound and showed to the queen, and the queen's a fat old bitch. Like, she a big bitch. Like, and as far as, and all she got in her is babies and shit. All right, and I'm just thinking like, damn, yo, the animal kingdom is cruel, because she has to sit in this rock and fuck and have kids. She don't get taken out on no dates, nothing. All right, this is her fucking life. Okay, and I just look at her as like that's like the shackling life.
Where
all right.
You going with this flash?
I don't know.
I know. I'm like,
I'm trying to follow.
I want to share this video with y'all because I'm probably gonna try to put this episode. But if y'all see what I seen, I'm saying like this woman she doesn't receive nothing but just being a fucking mule to children. That shit is tough. That shit look tough for her.
You know, is that a goal or is that
I'm gonna take this in a different direction. Okay.
Y'all.
Oh God.
All right.
So can I go next?
Nash, yes.
Go ahead. And
Do you have that conversation early? How early do you have that conversation? Is it a deal breaker for you?
I think it's important to have that conversation early. At this point in my life, I don't see children as a encumbrance. Right. Earlier in my life, I did.
That's a goddamn
Early in my life, I did because I wasn't set up financially. I didn't feel secure enough in my finances to be responsible enough to have a child or maintain a child, because just having a kid ain't enough. You know, it's like having a 30-year mortgage. Like, you got to find out how you're going to pay this shit off for 30 years. So, you know, that's the mindset that I needed to be in to feel comfortable having a kid. So now I'm open to it even more so than I was before. But I think that was a big deterrent for me, my finances.
They could be close alive.
So it's not a deal breaker for you. What about you, Mo?
It's not. I would want, I'm open. Of course, I want my partner to be open as well. I definitely still want to have a child, God willing. So with that being said, yeah, my partner gotta want to have a kid too.
So that is a deal breaker. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, so it would be a deal breaker for me, right? Unless it was something that. Unless it was an absolute, like they told me, you know what, you can't, then that's completely different. But
yeah, right now I would say I'm very similar to Mo. I'm open, and so if I met someone that it was like a hard no for them, then I could not date them. That would be a deal breaker for me. Yeah, and I like to have that conversation very early, because sometimes you just never know, and having that conversation can spare us. Like, for example, what if you don't have the conversation and we doing the do, and I get pregnant and you have a hard stop of you don't want no more kids. Like, are you expecting me to have an abortion? That's a conversation too.
Can we talk about the accident babies? Like, I don't think there's no such thing as an accident baby. I think
you said this the other day when we were brainstorming, and it hit me hard. It's irresponsible, is what you said.
If you haven't unprotected sex, and
it can happen.
Y'all get pregnant, it's not a mistake. You was being irresponsible, right?
That's an accident.
I don't think that is an appropriate way of looking at it. I think that as adults, if we're gonna do adult things, we got to be responsible for adult consequences. So you chose to have a kid when you was sliding in there. Your pull-out game was just weak. You should have just done it twice.
It's not a choice. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not a choice. All right, because sometimes there's situations where women are taking birth control and the birth control just didn't work, or they may have missed birth control for whatever reason, and you didn't know. You didn't know.
It was irresponsible, but irresponsible on her part.
But it's not. But you can't.
And you get to follow up with her too.
It wasn't a choice. I didn't make the choice to say, "Hey,
we
I
made the choice to not ask her if she took her birth control, and if she missed any days.
I should ask her every time we have sex. Hey, did you?
Well, you should. If you don't, if that's not an outcome, you
be responsible.
But that's still an accident, so it's still not me making a choice to have a child.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Shake it.
He's very triggered.
I didn't. No, I'm not triggered. I'm just saying. You saying that it's a choice and it's not an accident. And there's I'm gonna be honest. I feel like 80% of the children out there in the world are accidents. They're not planned. I think the only children.
That's a shake fact.
But I like
that's a shake fact. That is.
I like that fact though. I like
ding that man.
And notice I did say accident, not mistake. There's a difference,
right,
okay?
Right.
So 80% of the kids out there in the world, matter of fact, most of y'all are accidents, okay? All right? So
He's talking facts.
I'm like,
I'm gonna find out. I'm
gonna run dog in there thinking they pull out game is strong, and it ain't, okay? And this is an accident. I fucked up. I nutted in you. I fucked up. I shouldn't have done it. That's why they came up with the Plan B pill, bro. That's why Plan B is here, okay? You know what I'm saying? And that's why there is freaking what do you call it? Unplanned pregnancy. What is it called?
Planned Parenthood.
Unplanned Parenthood. Yeah, that's why that's there because
you mean Planned Parenthood. You mean
Planned Parenthood,
is where they can have abortions and
because people do have accidents, and
Facts.
you know what I'm saying. And when it comes to the question of as far as like it being a deal breaker, it depends on where you are in your life. I feel like younger women don't give a fuck. All right, but once you get in that 28 range, women over 28, all right, you gotta expect that they are going to want kids, and if you're telling them you don't want kids, it's I think it's a deal breaker with women over 28. For men, it's more of a deal breaker when we start getting into the over 35 age. Okay, these are shake facts, but I feel like they real.
I was gonna say this sounds like
these are all shake facts.
But I do. Once men start hitting 35, I feel like that's the range, and for us, where it's like if we don't have kids, I want somebody who wants to have children at that age. So it all depends. For me, fuck them kids. All right. I don't want no more. All right. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I've had the stance of fuck them kids since I had my kids. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I had kids already, and that, a lot of times that happens as well. You end up dating a man who's had kids, and he's like, hard stop. I don't want any more. You know what I mean? So like I said, it depends on where you are in your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have time for a quick game of Ratchet Fire? Let's go. All right. So Ratchet Fire, we're going to just go ahead and share what type of partner, what type of characteristics or traits would you want to conceive with, or you would not want to conceive with? Sorry, my bad. So you're meeting somebody and who you ain't trying to get knocked up. All right. And who you not trying to get you knocked up. Now, Ratchet Fire, let's go.
If she ain't got no type of skills in the kitchen or willingness to have skills in the kitchen, I wouldn't want to get her pregnant.
Facts.
Okay. For me, it's definitely if you have multiple baby daddies, multiple baby mamas, and maybe you're not even an active parent.
Yo,
that's one from. Go ahead, Jake. I'll go after you.
She messy as hell. She don't fucking clean up after herself, and now you want to have a kid.
Yeah, you got to be financially stable. That's mine. You can't be all over the place.
Financially stable.
Yeah, financially stable.
If she
that bird gotta be right.
I'm sorry to say, if she got bad genes, okay. If she got a brother who is who is on the spectrum, I'm good. I'm good.
I say for me, I can't do like chicks that are too aggressive. So like if you like just fist fighting, niggas for no reason and shit like that, like I'm not.
Cause she's not gonna be a good baby mama. You think she's gonna fuck you up over the kid?
I got a chance to get knocked out.
If she got poor communication skills and is just like super combative.
Yo, if she mistreats her pet, my nigga, I don't want her around. I'm not having no kid with her.
If she an alcoholic or having substance abuse problems.
Oh, that's a good one. No, that's a good one.
I mean, it
you know what I'm feeling? Go ahead.
I like when they drink a little bit, but not too crazy. But
yeah,
go ahead.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
You know what's coming up for me? As I get older, I feel like the list dwindles. Because I would have said a whole bunch. I want him to be cute. I want him to have, good hair and all this other stuff. And
now, baby.
I'm old and I'm like,
you take what you
I just want to be a good person.
You take what you gotta get.
I take what I can get at this point.
Nah,
I just need you to not have baby mama drama, and I need to see how you
Cuomo.
handle that shit. That's big for me, and finances,
I agree.
right?
The list definitely.
But I can take care of my kid by myself. You know what I'm saying? But all right. Now it's time for No Bad Days.
Yeah.
New music.
It's gonna be a great ass day because I said it was gonna be a great ass day. I won't accept nothing else. Nothing bad will enter my day. Say that shit like you mean it. Howl it. No bad days.
Okay, tribe, no bad days, never, ever, ever, ever. And today we just wanted to leave you with some tips from us that we suggest that, you can abide by or not if you're interested in having children or not. So I have 3 tips and I want all of us to share one tip to the tribe that you have. So my 3 tips are: be sure that you're doing what's best for you and not society. Don't be having no kids just because your time is ticking and everybody's pressuring you to have a child. Do what's best for you. Right. Definitely talk to your partner about having children very early in the relationship so you can avoid any issues that might happen if you do get knocked up. Later down the line, you know exactly what that person wants, exactly what that person doesn't want. So you kind of know where you guys are going to move next. And then my last tip is have an open conversation about the hypothetical of what are we going to do if the relationship doesn't work? Because I think sometimes we don't think about those things. And this person's like, yeah, you can never move. And then you're stuck, right? Mm-hmm. Or I actually had a partner tell me, I'm going to stay with you until the child turns 18 because I want my child to have two parents. And that's like a huge deal breaker for me. Absolutely not. If this relationship is not working, I'm not sticking around. I'm not wasting my life, right? I want to show love to my child. That's very important for me. What tips do you guys have to share? Anybody?
No, you in your early 20s, fuck them kids, all right? Enjoy your life. Fuck that shit. Yeah. All right. Once you hit 28, now it's crunch time. Get your shit together. Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm just in the band camp of don't let societal norms pressure you to not or do it for you, and when it's that time, just be the best parent that you can be. So
prepare for no me time. Okay, if you plan on having kids, just prepare to dedicate your life to making sure that those kids are priority. That's my tip for you. Practice that.
Yeah, my tip is just make sure that is something that you want to do, right? Enjoy your life, live your life. And then when you're ready to have kids, make sure you and your partner's on the same page. That's it.
I'm going to just end it with this because I was a little triggered by what Mash said. You get to parent the best way that you know how or that you want to, right? You don't have to do it the way that other people have done it. And having no me time is not something that I want to take on when I become a parent, right? I want to make sure that I still create time for myself, still create time for my child and my partner and all those other things. I don't want to be in that mindset at all.
So you choose to live in a dream world. I'm with it.
Yeah.
No, I'm in a position financially that I actually can create that though. Yeah, I can create that.
I believe in you. I believe.
It's like, nigga, my money long. I can make it happen.
I'm not saying that, but I can create that. I feel like I can create that.
Yeah, TJ, I believe in you. I think people think in scarcity.
No, I agree. I think
people think in scarcity a lot, and I feel like we have an abundance of time, money, energy to commit to the things we want. So I agree with you.
100%. And there's no rule book. There's no parent. Exactly. There are parenting books, but there's no right or wrong way. So you have to also define what me time is. But anyway, our time is up. We got Ratchet the sophisticated way, and we'll be back with another episode for you next week.
Who wins? Who wins?
Let's talk about it. Word of the week.
Nash,
who got it?
We got a three-way.
How many times was it said?
Three-way.
Flash, shake, and mash.
I said
sorry, no.
Wrong kind of three-way.
TJ, shake, and me.
Okay, all right.
Oh, we all said it once?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So may the best person win.
Hurry up.
I'm the moderator. I'm going last.
Okay, all right.
Mash, you're first. Okay, go ahead, Shake.
Go ahead, because I'm the word of the week guy.
I don't want to get personal.
Get personal.
Encumbrances come from different places. It all depends on how you decide to focus your efforts.
Okay.
Safe ass simple.
Okay.
TJ think because her money long, kids ain't gonna be an encumbrance.
So. I didn't want to say it. Why you?
All right.
I did not say that children, because my money is long, children will be an encumbrance. I said it's how you handle. Okay, forget it. I lost.
That's your sentence, because
all right. So Shake got that. Shake got
it.
Good job. We're not the whole time.
That's not what I said, Todd. That's not what I said.
You heard.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys.
Let's
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Later on.
Peace.